So Devilish Diamond made 7 Arch Guide video a while back. It was a good video, but unfortunately it only covered the really sweaty strats that M7 Archers does in like PB runs for example. And plus he deleted that video and I can't find it, so you know. So I decided, with the help of a few of my good friends, and with the help of Molten66 my code, to create this updated M7 Archer guide for the new upcoming M7 players, and for the sweats that want to learn how to become better. So the best way to start this off is the items and the stats, and this is the part where you should probably be taking notes if you really want to learn how to like get better at Arch. So we're going to start off with the beginner archers. You need these following items and stats. Full Necron with 10 star, half ferocious, half strong mana with a maxed out diamond head. You need 10 star dungeon equipment that are recommed. The bow necklace must have the 1-5, and all 4 equipments must have the wax to reforge. Your term. You only need 1 term, honestly. You should be using a spiritual or precise duplex terminal, 10 stars, power 7. You should have a scrolled sword of bad health, a scrolled weirder tuba, a death bow that is somewhat maxed out. The death bow must have Soul Eater and Tabasco, a last breath with duplex 1. You absolutely need a rag axe that is 10 starred, and now this is easier because you can actually buy the materials on the bazaar. Back then you had to manually grind it. You must have every single upgrade that gives you strength, so Art of War, Fumings, you name it, even Perfect Gemstone. You must have everything on that rag axe. You must have Maxor boots, that is also maxed out, and you need Reaper armor and armor shed arrows. As for your pets, you need an E-Drag with a Christian pet, a G-Drag with 1 mil bank, a Phoenix pet, and finally, a Jellyfish pet, level 100 legendary. Now that I've gone through all the items that can improve your damage, I'm going to now go through some of the basic stats that you need as a player to be able to arch properly. So, obviously, you need Cata 49. Your arch level must be at least 43. You must have combat 60, obviously, that's not hard to get. This is a very important one. You must absolutely have 1500 magical power and be on the fortuitous reforge. The reason why you want so much MP is for the crit chance, so you want as much crit chance as you can get. So since you're playing Arch, you're gonna have to put approximately a part of your speed, 70 to 100 speed on your tunings, and put the rest on crit chance. If you were playing Burst, you would split it in half. You must try to get as high as possible in Skyblock levels, because the strength that you get stays as base strength in your profile, and would get stacked with the Power Blessing, and would also get stacked with your Rag Axe. And also, yes, this is a true thing. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but yes, this does work, and this does happen. And finally, you must have maxed out your Blessing Essence shop at Malik. It's currently like 1:30 AM. I don't know why I keep recording so late. Here are the list of items that you must have. So, to start off, you need the Efficiency 10 pickaxe, obviously, Aspect of the Void, Bonzo Staff, Bonzo Mask, a Gyrokinetic Wand, Pearl Sack Commands, Jerry Shin Gun, both Infinity items such as the Infinity Boom and the Infinity Leap, and finally a Rod. Here's a list of the quality of life items you can use during your M7 runs. Ice Spray, Thunder Bottle for like free money, Rogue Sword, a Maxor Boots. Again, I put Maxor Boots here because you don't really need Maxor Boots, but having the speed really helps when the clear and in the Wither bosses before getting to the dragons. A Gauntlet of Contagion, preferably with dominance and speed. Soul Eater Term, 10 star, precise, make sure it's precise. If you have a Soul Eater term that is anything but precise, you are actively throwing. A Wither Cloak, and Spring Boots if your teammates are failing at crystals. Yeah, about the Rogue Sword, my friend just told me that the Rogue Sword is very important, so you start by heading towards either here or here. Maxor should be around 300 to 500 million HP, so you should be around half his health. If he's 600 or above, that means you didn't do enough damage and you're gonna have to 3-phase Maxor. So make sure that he's at least under 500 million HP. You also might want to make sure to not over DPS, depending on which tank you play with. Some of them will LB, others won't. If you do some decent amount of damage and the tank LBs, you may over DPS, which will cause him to take too much damage and perhaps enrage too early. If he enrages too early, you may kill your tank by accident. Once you're done, you should be leaping to the burst. If your burst is good, you should be already in phase 2 storm. So I got a screenshot of the F7 storm phase so I can demonstrate what Arch does in terms of clearing. If you have a good burst, you're probably around here or here. If you don't have a good burst, then you're just gonna fall all the way down. You're gonna be around here. So once you're down here, you're gonna have to run up, or if you're already here, you're gonna have to stay here. Mage will sometimes gyro this entire group that's here. If the mage doesn't, it's not a big deal. All you have to do is select a section where you want to clear. So you could be standing here, you could be standing here, here, or here, aiming this way, or this way, or this way. Once this entire thing is clear, your next job is to clear these sections over here. If your tank is good, your tank would be clearing the yellow pad as a whole here and pre-crushing. If your tank is early crushing, you would want to avoid standing under here to avoid getting crushed. So while the tank is doing this, you're going to have to clear everything. You're going to have to clear green pad. The archers are standing here, everything that's here. Then you're going to shift your attention all the way to here. So let's say your tank isn't good, then you're going to also have to clear yellow pad. You're going to have to also clear yellow pad, clear all the archers that are here, and clear everything that's here. Sometimes you can also ignore the yellow pad first, so once you're done clearing this entire section, you can clear a little bit around here. Usually the birds should be done finishing clearing this entire section. If your birds is not good or does not know what they're doing, then you're gonna have to clear the entire thing and maybe clear a little bit of here, just in case. I'm gonna redraw where to clear if you were playing casual at a Locata party. I forgot to mention, most of the time the mage clears the arch that are standing here, but it's not a problem to help them out. Mage will be clearing the archers that are standing at these ones over here. If your mage is good, you would want to avoid clearing the towers because they will sometimes gyro it to help you do more damage. You should be under the pillar as you can see from the video, and you should be proccing your Ragax. So once you have your Ragax activated, you're gonna come out and you're going to DPS with your ultimate ability. Once you enrage Storm, you're gonna immediately leap to your mage who should be at the other end. If not, just run towards the yellow pad and finally kill him. Man, I need to stop making videos so late at night, at least voiceover recordings. Well, anyways, at Goldor's Phase, after leaping to healer, your job is to go straight for the 2 levers and then prepare to pre-enter. Also, one extra thing, please remember to break the gate with your Super Boom TNT or your fucking archer ability. The amount of times you can save yourself from ruining the entire run is unimaginable. Please break the gate before you pre-enter. Before going in, you should go back and look at how far your healer is on the Simon Says. You should also get the Goldor's Tick insta-death timer, so you can time your pre-entry correctly without having your bottom mask instantly pop as you enter. Alright, I'm here again with another picture to demonstrate what you're supposed to do in the second part as you pre-enter. So, usually when everything goes smoothly, you'd be around here. So once you enter this area, you're gonna jump to this area here. So you're gonna land here, go here, jump to this area here, and you're gonna Bonzo Staff, which should launch you all the way here. And your landing spot is around here. You should be standing around this area over here. Once you land there, you're gonna take out your Phoenix Pet using an auto pet rule with your rod. And then once everyone leaves to you, you're gonna take out your Black Cat, and you're going to move forward, which should jump you forward up to these steps, and then you do your dev. Okay, so this gets a little complicated here, but for the simplicity sake of this video for lower kata, you will only focus on the 5th term. so you don't really need to do this one. Usually the birds would be there doing that term, so you would do the 5th term and then do lever.
This is the 5th term, and this is the 3rd one. The 4th one is the one back here. Other people might say otherwise, but don't listen to them, kitten. Once you enter the 3rd phase of Goldor, you can either bonzo staff on the first cobblestone fence to get to your term, or go through the hole under and in front of the arrow device. If you finish your term and the levers aren't done, help the healer do them. Make sure to blow up the gate. In the last terminal phase of Goldor, your best move is to get to this wall. Look up and bonzo staff on the TNTs. This should protect you forward, which then you would bonzo staff again upon landing on this platform. After you're done, do the levers and leap to whoever is the closest to the core, where you finally kill Goldor. Necron Phase is basically the same in F7, except you would leap to the mage, or the mage leaps to you, depending on who's closest to a platform. When you get the invisibility effect, leap to the healer, who should be at least somewhat close to Necron, who is nuking at the center. Once you get your 2nd blindness effect, take your death bow and shoot 1 to 3 shots on Necron. This allows you to do up to 1 billion damage or more, which can help you split, as your ultimate ability in Archer will do 70% of your highest damage done. After killing Necron, leap to your healer and get to your relic, which is the red one. Once everyone's relics are placed, this is the part where you start buffing up for your split. Ragax, Sword of Bad Health, Weirder Tuba, Reaper Armor, and Golden Dragon Pet. First, have your Pookie Wookie Golden Dragon.
Have your Golden Dragon out, hold your Ragax, and put your Reaper Armor on. Once you see the 2nd Necron message, which is this one, cast your Ragax, let it proc, then cast your Weirder Tuba. As soon as you see the timer, proc your Reaper Armor, swap your pet to your Ender Dragon, and your armor to your DPS set. You can use a pet rule to automatically equip your E-Drag when you swap back to your DPS armor, with the exception of not being in dungeons. Once you proc everything, check your drag, then get to the stacking waypoints.
I bumped into Slick, and I just messaged him about like the new waypoints, and I think he might actually change them right now since they're kind of outdated. The thing about stacking for M7 in Dragon's Phase is that there's multiple waypoints that you can stand on to stack properly. I'm currently visiting my friend Slick Rick and all these people, and they've built the entire M7 Dragon Phase on their island, and they have also placed all the waypoints where you can stand on. The only problem is, I've already talked to Slick Rick, and they are a little outdated, but they still remain decent split, like areas to stand on. So, the thing about these dragons is that most of them have either 2 or 3 areas where you can stack on. So let's say for example you want to go to red, you can stand on these area, or even at middle, which also works. So instead of just showcasing one by one as I'm recording, I'll just again use a picture and draw on where the place where you can stack on. Alright, so here we are with the picture of the entire Phase 5 Dragon's Phase in M7, and if you look carefully, you can see the signs and the waypoints are already kind of placed on there, but we're not going to use them just yet. We're gonna use the ones that I and many different archers use to stack. I guess you can start off with the easiest one, and the one we can get rid of first. There's already the ones over here and the ones over here, which is good stacks, but since you're archer, you would want to stay a little bit further back. So if you're stacking, you may want to stack here, or maybe you want to stack a little bit like here, which would work correctly, or you could stack around our area like here. So around the areas here is where you want to stack, and you want to run towards the dragon. If you're further back, you want to start running towards it at around 900 millisecond. And if you're a little closer like here, then you want to run at around 700 millisecond. As for the blue dragon, you can either stack over here or all the way over here. I personally, and most archers, would go all the way here, since the dragon is only going this way. If you were stacking here, the dragon's going away from you, while here, the dragon is going directly this way, so you're still approaching the dragon way faster than if you were stacking here. For green dragon, a lot of people would say that you could stack over here, but that's very outdated. Sure, it works, but I feel like the best ones, as indicated on this map, would be either here, around here. She says here, around these area here would be good, here, or even all the way back here. I personally go all the way back here. or around these area here, because the dragon is going this way. If the dragon is going this way, it's going head first towards me. So I personally want to stay in the position where the dragon hits towards me, so my beams would hit it faster, and my arrows would hit it faster too. As for Red Dragon, which is arguably the hardest dragon to kill, since the Red Dragon has very bad stacking areas in general, and it's headed straight towards outside the hitbox. The reason why blue would be easier, in my opinion, is because you have so much room to just stack, while red is very limited, since you only have these around areas, and you can't really do much in these areas. Archers would go around here, or maybe even here to stack. If you really want to get more arrow stacks, you can also stand around here. What Slick Rick, the guy in this co-op that made this island, recommended me was stacking from mid. And I was surprised, because like, oh, that's unheard of, because no one really does that. But apparently it actually works, since if you stand around here, around this area over here, you can actually stack pretty decently. And I realized why. Since the dragon is exiting this way, it's like the blue dragon where it's exiting this way, but you're still sort of heading towards it without it heading away from you. If you were standing in these positions, the dragon is actually just running away from you. But if you're standing here, you're kind of just like going to hit like a wall instead of like going away trying to hit something that's away from you. This one I think might be the best area to stack. I actually tried the splitting method from mid all the way from mid, and it actually worked. Like I killed the dragon faster than I thought it would be. You will never see the day where you have to split orange because of how the priority of dragon works. You will never roll an orange dragon. If you want to have a good stack for orange, you can either stand around these areas over here, so around here to here, or the best one, as of recent, would be to stand somewhere here in this area. Since the dragon is heading first towards this way, then goes this way. And that's all you need to know for a beginner archer. So now we're about to enter the Sweatier Strats for M7 archers. So if you're a beginner, I really recommend you getting comfortable with what I just shown you before you get into these more slightly sweatier strats that only get sweatier. So if you skipped all the way to this section, I'm gonna assume that you already know all the basic arch strats as a sweaty archer player. I could also assume that you have at least Kime 3 Ragax, a second G-Drag with anti-remedies, a second Necron set with Skeleton Master Chestplate for a quality of life item, a second terminal with Soul Eater, maybe a hypermaxed Molten Belt and a Molten Necklace with Dom Speed 9 on both, Gauntlet of Contagion with Dom 9 Speed 9, 1600 MP, and at least Archer 47. If you're going to PB run as Arch, you will typically not be using a tactical insertion. During PB runs, your job as Arch stays the same as you are still tasked to Blood Rush. Everything stays the same in terms of clear and Maxor Phase. In Storm, however, I will assume that you have a good team, so tanks should be clearing the yellow pad, and burst should already be in Storm Phase after Maxor. You should proc your death bow while you clear all the pads and everything. After the first fighting, you should go to the hiding spot where you swap to your Reaper set and proc your Ragax with your level 200 G-Drag with remedies. Swap back to your Necron set, pull out your Last Breath on Storm, and use your ultimate ability on him. Then, once he's enraged, leap to your mage, who should be on the other side. Last Breath again, shoot, kill, and leap to healer. Phase 1 of Goldor stays the same for you, as your task is just to pre-enter. You could also buy a Spirit Mask so you can live a little longer while you pre-enter, but you are spending 400 mil just to live an extra 2 seconds, so I don't know if you really want to do that. In Phase 2 of Goldor, depending on your burst, you might either do 5 and 3 as usual, or you might do only the 4th term, then do levers. If you are doing 5 and 3, make sure that you fall off the small platform that you're on, so you go from the 5th to the 3rd one immediately as you finish the 5th one.
If you are doing the 4th term, go right here, Bonzo Staff on this wall, turn around and get the lever. Healer should also be in Phase 3, where you can leap and hold W to go through the same hole.
3rd phase of Goldor should be the same. If your mage is coring, you do your 4th as usual, but then you leap to mage when gates opens, or you can pre-leap if you want. Again, depending on the mage, for the last term phase of Goldor, you might either do 2nd or 4th term. It is completely up to the party, so you have to sort of ask, and during PB runs, everything should be made clear either way before they actually put you into a run. After you're done with your term, you leap back to the mage, who should still remain in core, and then you kill Goldor as usual. Something that I've seen archers do before is actually run outside of the core with the mage to do damage. This only usually happens if the terms in the 4th section of Goldor is fast enough for that to happen. If it is fast enough to happen, mage and the archer should run out at the same time to do the maximum amount of damage, since Goldor will be coming in at an awkward position, which would help
At
increase
Necron,
the damage DPS
while you are
output.
still floating, proc Ragax with the Remedies Draugr. Swap back and kill. After the second blindness, switch to your strongest armor, strongest pet, and proc whatever you need to boost your damage, and proc your death bow. You can even hit Necron with an adaptive blade to an extra 10% more death bow damage.
Also, double damage for this very short bow strat is probably patched because I checked the wiki for the strat and it says it was patched. I'm not sure if there's more damage, but damage is only death bonus. It's definitely more damage than the original bow.
After killing Necron, leap to healer and get your relic. Once you leap to healer after Necron, equip your black cat, get to your relic, and spam click on the specific corner of the end portal frame. Once you place red relic, you buff up as usual, except this time you do not ult on your split dragon. Your bone necklace can be replaced by a molten necklace, as long as it has Dom 8, Speed 8 as a minimum with the 1-5 and the power level is above 24. After you split your drag, reproc your Ragax with Remedies G-Drag, swap back and continue killing the drags. You save your ult for the last 2 dragons.
And that basically sums up everything you need to know about M7 arching. Honestly, when I was writing the script of this guide, I was quite hesitant on adding more other extra tips and extra strats because they were just way too sweaty or just unnecessary as a whole. For example, I know there is a trick where in phase 2 when you're trying to pre-enter, there is a specific spot you can go and mine through and stay permanently there without being killed by the Goldor death ticks. Molten and Orc showed me this, but I just couldn't be bothered to recreate it nor find anyone who actually unironically does this because it's just unnecessary. I would like to keep the guide to a certain degree where it's realistic and not unnecessary, so this is why I'm going to end the guide here. If you have any questions related to M7 arching, I will be active in the comments on my main account, and I will try to answer as most as I can, or I will let the community answer them as most as they could. This video took several days to make, and it took several of my friends to voice for me, so I was able to compact all of their voice recordings together into one video that made sense. This video was approved by multiple archers as a whole. I sent this video to multiple people, and I got, I think, most of the approval of them to be able to make this full guide. Other than that, thank you for watching this video.
If you're doing the 4th term, a route you can do after completing the term, go right here, buns of staff on this wall, turn around and get the lever. Here should also be in phase 3 where you can leap and hold W to go through the same hole. At Necron, while you're still floating, proc Ragax with Remedies G-Drag, swap back, and kill. After the second blindness, switch to your strongest armor, your strongest pet, and proc whatever you need to boost your damage with your death bow. And you can even hit Necron with an adaptive blade to an extra 10% damage.
Your bone necklace can be replaced by a molten necklace as long as it... fucking hell, it's a tongue twister, man. Your bone necklace can be replaced by a molten necklace as long as I can't fucking do it, bro. I can't do it. I have the first sentence down, this is just the second sentence. Your bone necklace can be replaced by a molten necklace as long as it